Good morning, everyone. So today we're going to continue our discussion of R Studio. So just by way of review, last time we were using this file and we looked at the different types of data classes. We learned about numeric data. Okay, we learned about integers. Both are numbers, both are technically numeric. The difference is that numeric values can take on decimal places while integers cannot take on decimal places. We also learned about character data. So in R, character data is represented by quotes. So this can be a sentence. So for example, let me just write here D5A. Okay, so what do you call this class? What do you call this symbol? It's called this one. Anyone?
Sir, is it the assignment operator?
Yes, thank you. You're correct. This is the assignment operator, and it's equivalent to what operator?
Sir, it means print.
Sorry, print.
Yes.
Pag print, you will have to type the object or put open and close parentheses. Pero may equivalent na meaning to eh. For example,
No, sir, I think
D5.
it's equal.
Yes, thank you. So this is equivalent to equal to. So I could have used D5, then equal to, okay, whatever value, or I could have used this one. By the way, what's the shortcut for this? What's the keyboard shortcut for this assignment operator? Call it the assignment operator. This for assignment operator, which is just technically the same as equal to. However, we said that there's an advantage of using this assignment operator because equal to has a lot of uses. Okay, it can be used in a function, and if you have equal to here and you're going to use another equal to, then that can cause confusion. So for assignment operators, it's best to use this one. Okay, what is the shortcut for this class for Windows? Shortcuts. Yeah, thank you, Wei. That's for Mac users. The shortcut is Option minus. For Windows, it's the shortcut.
Alt minus.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It's Alt minus. Thank you. That's correct. All right. So if we want to create a character, we have to use open and close quotations. Example, this subject is FINSTSAR K33. Okay, so this will be treated, this sentence here will be treated as a character. So if I want this printed immediately, the shortcut is you can put here quotes, parentheses, right? Here, open and close parentheses, so that this will be sorry for the spelling. Okay, so if I run this code, this one, Control Enter, let me first. Okay, you can see that if I run this code, then it automatically prints here. Okay, and if we check, let's check the class of object D5A. And by the way, how do we know that R recognizes this object D5A? We can take a look at the environment. Here you have D5A, and this subject is, sorry again for the spelling, is FINSTSAR K33. Okay, and if I get the class, there it's character. Okay, let me pause for a while. Any questions so far? Or may I have your feedback if this is clear? Yung differences, by the way, ng numeric, integer, at saka character. No? See, integer, you have to put the letter L there. Otherwise, if you just put 100 or any number, then it will be considered as a numeric value. Is it clear so far, class? Yung character? All right, thank you. Okay, now there are special names. For example, the word true or false represents logical values. So this can be spelled out the capital letter TRUE or letter T, okay, and it will mean the logical value true. Or you can use just F or T, okay, it will represent the same, the word true or false. Now, it's suggested that you use the whole word, okay, instead of just the letter F. Okay, if we run this, okay, which we did last time already, this is just a quick review. So we now have your D6 here, object D6, and it's true. D6A is false, even if we just wrote F. And if we get the class of D, so D6 or D6A, if you get the class, we know that it's logical. Okay? Okay, aside from numeric, integer, character, we also have logical values. We also have complex numbers. So what are complex numbers? What does the I stand here? We discussed this last time, but I don't think we discussed what I means. Okay, imaginary, yes, John, thank you. What's the value of I here? What does this represent?
Sir, I think it's square root of -1.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, Mackenzie, you're correct. This is square root of -1. So in algebra, the square root of -1 is represented by an imaginary number, no, I. So this expression 3 plus 4i consists of both a real component and an imaginary component. Okay, so in R, this number is recognized as a complex number. So if I run D7, okay, so we now have D7 here, 3 plus 4i, as you can see here in the environment pane. And then if I get the class of D7, we're going to get D7, we're going to get complex. Okay. And lastly, last time we looked at the date object. Here we're creating D8, which is 2023 minus 5 minus 12. We said that this will not be considered as a date, but rather a numeric, a number, because it's actually an operation 2023 minus 05 minus 12. If we put quotations here, then it will not be considered as a date because this will be considered as a character. Any value or any variable or number or letter that's placed in quotes will be considered as character. So if you want to create the date, 2023 05 12, we have to use this function as that date. Okay, and where does this come from? The as that date. Okay, if we use the help function as that date, okay, here, question mark as that date, then it will tell us from which function this comes from. Okay, here. So this is from the base package. Okay, and the base package is, you don't have to install this. You don't have to use library or require to install this or to upload this because this comes already preloaded. In fact, if we check packages here, okay, and then see the base package, okay, here. Where is the base package? Okay, it's not even listed. Okay, hindi siya nakalist. In your case, class, please chat if you can see the base package here. We have base 64 encoding, but no base. Chat please, class, if you see under packages, the base package. Meron sa inyo. Okay. Now, all right. I'm wondering why it's not in my packages. Should be here. And question, class, is it checked? Is the base package checked, please? Kindly chat yes, please. Yes, okay. What does that mean, class? What does that mean? You have the base package and then it's checked. What does that mean? Anyone? What's the meaning of that? But what's the meaning of the base package being checked? Ano ibig sabihin, class, ng chine-check natin? Yung base, yung any package here. Ano ibig sabihin ng class? It means?
Sir, I think it means it's in your library now, like you can use it.
Okay, yeah, that's correct, no? Yeah, who was that? Sino yung nag-decide?
Joy Alicia.
Joy Alicia, okay, you're correct, Joy Alicia, okay? And tama din si Naoki, no? The package is loaded and available in the current hour session. It's in use, yes. Thank you, Julius, thank you, Naoki, you're correct. So you can, without installing the base package, you can already use it. You don't even have to load it. You don't even have to install it. So kindly check if you have, let's see, do you have dplyr in your packages? Let's just illustrate that. Do you have dplyr? I have it because I already installed this. Okay. Kindly chat, please, yes or no, if you have dplyr in your packages. Maybe I asked you already to load it before, no? Sige, ano na lang, class. I'm sure you haven't you haven't loaded this. Quant mode na lang. Ito. This is another package that we're going to use later on when we go to time series. So go to letter Q. Okay, you can type here Q and then U. Okay, and kindly see if you have quant mode. This one, quant mode. Okay, I'm expecting all of you have Mackenzie, meron na. No? Go, bakit kaya? Dinood nyo na ba dati yan? Julian, Dean? Did you
Sir, before po, we had the FinLit subject po from
okay,
Sir
okay.
GB po.
All right, so those of you who took R before, sa FinLits, most probably, linood nyo na siya, no? So it will appear there in your computers, in the packages section, but most probably it's not yet checked. It's already loaded, but it's not yet checked because checking it means you're going to using the library function. So for those of you who don't have it yet, you can load this. Okay, let's try. So go to packages and then click here install. Okay, install. So there are different ways to install a package. You can use the install that packages function, or you can go here to the packages window pane and then click install, and then packages separate with multiple space or commas if you're installing several packages. In our case, we're just using one, quant mode. Okay, so once you load this and install, what happens? If you take a look at the complex at the console, you notice that it automatically types this function, install that packages quant mode. Even if you did not personally type that, this code is equivalent to going to packages, install, and writing here quant mode. Okay. All right. Now you will now have quant mode. as part of your packages. And if I click this, which means that I'm going to use it, quant mode, and you notice that the corresponding function is library quant mode. So you can just type library quant mode, or you can click this. Either way, you get the same results. Okay, so that's just a quick review of how to install packages or how to load packages. So let me stop for a while. Is this clear, class? Okay, thank you. Okay, I especially would want to hear from those who are using R for the first time. Yung iba kasi alam na nila yan kasi nagamit na nila yan sa ibang subject. No? Like those of you who were under Sir JP, you also used R before. Okay, so thank you so much for your feedback. Now, let's go back to this one. Kasi if we're running D8, okay, if I run this, okay, it gives us a number, 2006. Why? Because this was treated as numeric, 2023 minus 5 minus 12. Okay, so 2023 minus 17, that gives us 2006. Okay, if I get the class of D8, then it tells me that this is numeric. How about this one? This, if I put here class D8A, okay, it gives us character. Why? Because it's enclosed in quotations. If I want a date, then I should write as that date, quotes, and then the date. So if I run this, class D8B, we're going to get a date classification for D8B. Okay, now it will be different if, what if I made it, okay, 5 May 12, 2023. If I made it 5/12/2023, can you please tell me what happens? Did it work? Is 5/12/23 used with as that date considered as date also? What happened, class? Didn't work. Thank you, Wei Yan. Okay. How about the others, please? Did it work with you? Didn't work. Okay. Let's wait for the feedback of the others. Okay. Naoki, what weird date? Okay, so 0005-12-20. So hindi nga siya, no? How about the class? Did it register a date? Date ba rin siya? What answer resulted when you run this? Class D8B. Date ba yung lumabas? Date. Okay, date. Okay, kaso, okay, let me run this. If I run it, okay, 0005-12-20. So ano to, class? What's this? And it's a date, no? Kaso, ano siya? Hindi siya yung date na gusto natin, eh, kasi ang date na gusto natin is May 12, 2023, no? Okay. Yeah, thank you, Abijah. Abijah, kindly share your answer to everyone please. Your
Okay, sir.
comments.
So, sir, since the first number pa is a 4-digit, maybe we need to put the year first before the month and the day.
Yeah, that's what we did here. So una, di ba? We place the year first, the month, and the date, no? So that should be the default when you use, as that date. No? Kaso dito, what we did was 05/12/2023. So in other computers, okay, yung iba during our class yesterday, yung iba generated errors, no? Hindi rin na ni R. Okay? Kasi yung format nito does not subscribe to the format required sa as that date. So tingnan natin dito Alright. Take a look at this, no? Okay, kasi pag as that date, if you take a look at this, so dapat we have to define some parameters. No? So we will not discuss this now, but it's important for us to understand yung mga functions na ganito. No? As that date, may X. Tapos ano yung format? You have here format. Tapos may try is equal to formats pa. Okay, so what's a format? Character string, if not specified, it will try formats one by one on the first non-NA element and give an error if none works. Otherwise, the processing is via strp time, whose help page describes available conversion specification. So may mga may mga parameters pa siya dito. Okay, and if you take a look at an example here, all right. So dito usually may mga example. Okay, tingnan nyo to, no? As that date, X, and then this one, yung format. Okay? Could you kindly try this, class? Date, and then month. Okay, or D is day, B is month, and Y is year. Am I there? Check natin. Okay. Percent, you have percent, and then D, percent B, and then percent Y. Kasi, ang date lang nilagay dito, yung day, and then yung month, and then yung year. Okay? Alright? So, pag ganito, tingnan nyo to, dates, and then you have to specify. Ito, ano ba yung format natin? Month, day, and then year. So, could you kindly try this, class? Ito. So I'm pointing to you how to use, for example, how to navigate through guides in R. Tell me, how do you correct that? So that, kasi ito lumalabas dito, class, year 5 to no? And then month 20, and then day 20, 12, December 20, no? And then year 5. And it's a date function. Pero this is not the date that we want. This is year 5. And then December 20. What we want is May 12, 2023. Okay? So, how did it work, class? Anyone would like to share? So what did you find out, class? Anyone? So in order to make sure that this is converted into a date, okay? Kasi ang default ng as.date, dapat year, tapos month, tapos day. But I don't want that format. Ang gusto ko, day, month, and then year. So how do I do it? Any suggestion? Ito class, oh. May example tayo dito. So this is January 27, 1992, diba? So here, it's an object. These are characters, no? Lahat to characters. Tapos ginawa siyang date. Okay? Ginawa siyang date. Anyone, class? Okay, sige. All right. Joy Alicia, could you kindly share what you did?
Hello, sir.
Explain mo nga.
So basically, kunyari, if gusto mo yung December 5, 2023, so after you write that sa
May 12
parentheses,
tayo, May 12.
oh. So basically, like, after yung sa parentheses, yung after the first quotation, you should do the percentage,
Okay.
month, slash.
Yeah, what's D there? Percentage D, what's that?
That's for the date.
Day, okay? Percentage.
Yeah, and then slash, and then percentage month, and then slash, then percentage year.
Okay, so if this is December 5, 2023, tama ito, no? Kasi yung 5 mo will be the day, yung month mo 12, and yung year mo 2023. So this is what I was telling you, class. Andito na example. Yun, no? Diba? Ito. Month, day, year. In fact, if you copy this, copy nyo nga to, class. Control C. Let's copy this and run it i-run natin sa console natin. Okay, Control V. Okay, so here I'm creating this object dates, and dates is a character object, diba? So this is 2/27/1992, 2/27, pareho rin, 2/27, pareho siya. Did I copy correctly? 2/27/1992, pareho lang. Baguhin ko to. 2/28, 225 na lang. So may 2/27, 2/25, 1/14, 2/28, 2/01. Okay? So it depends on how you're writing the date. Dito, so we're creating this dates object. Let's run this first. No? If we run this, Control Enter, then magge-generate tayo ng dates. Tingnan nyo, character siya. No? CHR, character yan. If I check the class of dates, it will definitely give us character. Okay, so let me just copy this here. Control C, Control V. All right, now, okay, let's create another object, dates 1. So I'm creating now another object, dates 1. And then, ang ginagawa ko ngayon, as that date, anong gagawin kong dates? Yung object na dates. Okay? And then the dates, the object dates are this one. Okay, so ano laman niya? No? Ang laman niya is 227, ito no? Ito yung dates natin eh. Ito, 2/27/1992. So this is the month, the day, and the year. So specify ko siya, no? How do you specify it? Percentage M slash. Bakit slash? Kasi slash yung ano natin eh, yung object natin yung slash. If this was minus, then dapat lalagay ko dito percentage M minus, percentage D minus, percentage Y. Okay? Alright, and then it's small y kasi ang pagsulat natin dalawang numbers lang. If I wrote this as big Y, then yung buong number, yung 4-digit number ang susulat niya. Okay, so if I run this, dates 1, control enter. Okay, I now have this one. Let's get the class of dates 1. So it's a date, no? And if I print dates 1, all right. Okay. Anong kaibahan nitong dates kanina? No? Yung dates kanina, ito, no? 2/27/92, 2/25/92. They're all characters. No? Yung dates 1, they're all dates. Okay, dates sila lahat. So yan ang difference kasi we created this object dates 1. Okay, and we use as that date. Okay, kino-convert natin yung object na dates. But we defined ano yung format natin. Kasi yung binigay natin na dates, ba ito, 2/27/1992. So ginawa natin, ito month, ito day, ito year. Okay, so that's what I was saying here. No? So dito sa ginagawa natin dito, ito, dapat ito, okay? So how should we correct this? Diba? Quotes and then percentage ano. So this is our month, right? Percentage, this is our day, D, and then percentage 2023 percentage year. Okay, may kulang ako, percentage M, and then dapat yung minus, percentage D, minus, percentage year. Alright. Naka-dash kasi siya, no? Okay. So let's run D8B, control enter. Alright. Yan. Okay, pause muna ako. Let me control C, let me put here in the chat box. Okay, kindly chat please if you were able to follow. Clear so far? Thank you, Mackenzie. How about the others, please? Okay. Okay, thank you. Any questions? Any questions? Any clarifications? Please feel free to ask your question. Okay, no question at the moment. Sige, let's continue class. Okay, so today we're going to discuss about data structures. Okay, And as we go along, also, we're going to look at these diagnostic functions. Okay, yung class, we have discussed this before. We haven't discussed yung type of, mode, names, length, attribute, structure, and dimension. And okay, as we go along, we're going to discuss these functions. Okay, so let's now take a look at what are the different types of data structures. So we have vectors, lists, matrices, arrays, factors, data frames. We can include here time series data, and also panel data. Okay, we can include that. Okay, let's first take a look at vectors, which is the most simple among the data structures. So if you have a collection, either one, no? Kahit isa lang, or a collection of objects, okay, and they're all the same type, then we call that a vector. So let's give an example. So if I have, for example, this time, by the way, it's called atomic. No? Atomic kasi isang klaseng data type lang siya, as distinguished from a list. So iba ang vectors kaysa sa list. Anong difference sila? Si vector can only take in one data type. So kung kunyari 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, okay, since pare-pareho sila numeric, then that's a vector. Or you have 5L, 10L, 15L, 20L. Okay, it's a collection of integers, then that's a vector of integers. If you have quotes, open and close, quotes A, open and close, quotes B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay, you have a vector of characters. Okay, or if you have true, true, false, false, true, 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 then that's a vector of logical values. So kapag pare-pareho sila, vector yun. If it's a collection of both numeric, integer, character, logical values in one object, then it's called a list. Okay, so vectors, only one data type, lists, several data types. Okay, so let's have an example. Let's first create our code chunk here. Anong shortcut, class, by way of review? Anong shortcut ng code chunk for window users? What's the shortcut for creating a code chunk? It doesn't make sense to type that. No? Mahaba yan. So what's the shortcut, class, for Windows users or for Mac users? O, sa Windows muna, ano yung ano? Okay, let's see my answer. Okay, thank you. Yeah, you're correct, no? Nag-answer na rin sa Mac. Sa Mac, Command, Option I. Sa Windows, Control, Alt I. Okay, you're correct. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's generate this. Dito lang tayo, no? Generate some random numbers. So maraming pwede tayong i-generate na random numbers sa R, no? For example, let's create this object. Let's call it A na lang, A1. Oops. So A1 alt minus, and then let's create 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. All right. And if I print this and then get the class A1, and then let's also include type of A1, and then sama na rin natin yung length of A1. Okay, so I'm including several functions here. Tingnan natin ito dito. Class, type of length. All right, so we're creating this object A1, C1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we know the type of that is numeric. The class of that is numeric. Let's see what this gives us, type of and length. So if we run this, first it will print yung A1 natin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then, ang class niya, numeric. Tapos, first time natin na-meet to, yung type of double. And then length niya is 6. Yung length madali, no? Kasi ilang elements yung A1 natin. There are 6 elements there. Something new for us is this one, type of double. Okay, let's distinguish this. Let's create now A2. So A2 naman, alt minus, and then C, then you have A, B, C, D. Okay, so dito, class of natin, class A2, type of A2 na rin. Okay, let's have another one para ma-compare natin. Let me just copy this. Control C, Control V. Let's have A3. Let's make this true. Logical values. True, false, and then false. Okay, so I'm creating here 3 objects. A1, A2, let me close this in parentheses so that it will be printed. And also this one, A3, para siya ma-print. Okay, we're creating 3 objects here. A1, A2, A3. Okay, so let's run all of this. Okay. Okay, line 86. 82 po yung, ay oh, sorry. Kaya ang nagtataka, bakit ano? Bakit? Yeah, I saw the mistake here. Bakit A2 yung class? Okay, A3 yung object, yung class A2, so this should be A3. Thank you na, okay. Yeah, that's correct. Kaya ako nagtaka, bakit character pa rin? Kasi dapat logical value yan. Okay, so let me rerun this. Okay, so we're taking a look here at vectors. No? Vectors consist of the same elements. So dito may A1 tayo. Ang laman niya, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we know that the class of this one is numeric. Now, first time natin na-meet yung type of. And the type of is double. Now, it has something to do with the space, with the bytes that R provides a numeric value. Okay, so don't worry about it. Basta ang ibig sabihin lang ng double, mas malaking memory ang inaalat ni R sa mga numeric values. Kasi nga, it can take on decimal places. As against, okay, at sige, dagdagan natin dito okay, for purposes of discussion. Let me copy this, Control C, Control V, and I'll call this A1A, and I'll call this, let me put here L, 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 L. Nilagyan ko lang ng L lahat, no? Okay. 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 Let me rerun everything. We now have this numerical, we have this integer, we have this character, and we have these logical values. They are housed in all their individual objects, A1, A1A, A2, A3. So if you run this, okay, so let's take a look at A1. A1, print niya 1 to 6, numeric, and yung type of niya is double. Okay? So as I said, yung double na yan, ibig sabihin yan, R allocates a bigger memory space versus an integer. Kasi ang integer, it does not require decimal places, while numeric requires decimal places. Kaya mas malaki yung space na pinoprovide, yung memory. Okay? So length is 6 kasi 6 elements siya. And A1A on the other hand is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 also. However, it's integer, yung class niya. So for integers, yung class ng integer at saka type niya pareho lang, parehong integer. Okay? And length is 6 kasi 6 din yung elements niya. Let's take a look at A2. A2 is ABCD and ABCD. And then we know that it's a character and type of character pa rin. So medyo si ano lang na bago, no? Si numeric lang as far as the type of function is concerned. Ang class niya numeric pero ang type of niya double. For integer, ang class niya integer, ang type of niya integer pa rin. For character, pareho lang yung class at saka type of. And so with logical. Alright? So, in-explore lang natin dito yung type of, no? Para next time ma-meet nyo to, alam nyo na it has something to do with the memory that's provided for that specific object. Kasi mga integers yan, mga numeric values yan, so they might take on decimal places, kaya binibigyan sila ng mas malaking memory space. Alright, so pause muna ako. Any questions, class? Okay, kung clear. Thank you. Good. Don't hesitate, class, to ask questions or clarifications. Okay, thank you. All right, let's continue. So these are all vectors. No? This is a vector of numeric values, vector of integers, vector of characters, and vector of logical values. They're all vectors because they all have the same data type as their elements. Okay? So another way to, okay, na naman tayo ng panibagong, let's call it A4. A4, okay. We can make use of a certain function called sequence. Sequence, before we go there, okay, let me just show you something. Okay, C, by the way, ano ibig sabihin ng C? Class?
Hello, sir. I think
Yes.
it's concatenate or combine po.
Yes, correct, no? So that's, C here means concatenate. Okay, concatenate means to combine, to take as one. So yung 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 na to, this is taken as one object, which we call A1. So let me copy this. So create tayo ng panibagong object, let's call it A4. Dagdagan na lang natin. 7, 8, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9, and then 10. Okay? So we're creating an object 1 to 10. Okay, so alam naman natin na ang class niyan na A4 at saka ang type of niyan will be numeric and a double. Okay. Okay, so alam natin ang answer dyan. A4 is a numeric vector consisting of numbers from 1 to 10 and its type of is double. Control Enter. So we're correct. Okay. So this one is numeric. But how about, class, if I create another object called A5, alt minus, and then I'm going to write 1 to 10. And then let's get the class. Class A5 type of A5. Okay. So kindly tell me what do you get here. Yung 1 to 10. So hindi natin siya pinasok sa pag-concatenate. 1 up to 10. What are we going to get? Is it 1 to 10 also?
Yes, sir. Pero integer.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, you're correct. No? So, tingnan yung nuance, no? Yes, tama, no? Integer siya. Thank you so much. Yung nuance ito, kapag inano natin, ginawa natin 1, then colon 10, 1 up to 10, this will be treated not as a numeric, but rather as an integer. So if you want to write integers, for example, from 1 up to 100, then you don't have to write 1L, 2L, 3L, etc. Pwede nyo gamitin to 1 to 10 if you want to write an integer. In fact, pwede nyo lagyan ng C yan. No? So what happens if we concatenate? Sige nga, class. If we concatenate 1 to 10, instead of just 1 to 10, what do you get? Okay. Integer pa rin. Yes. Okay, thank you. Did everyone get that, class? So whether we use the concatenator, kasi baka isipin nyo, baka pag C, no? Baka kapag C, automatic nagiging numeric. No, it's how you write the elements. Ito, ini-spell out natin isa-isa. No? Hindi pala ako dito na doble yung 1, 2, 1. Okay, dito naman, dito, 1 up to 10 siya. Okay, so if I run this, control enter, okay, integer siya pareho. No? Okay, clear yan, class? So far, clear ba tayo? Okay. All right, any questions so far? Okay, so good. No questions? All right. So, take note of this, class, no? Yung pag inano lang natin, pag kinolon lang natin from 1 up to 10, this will be integer. If we're spelling it out, this will be numeric. Okay, so let's take a look at another way to create your on the line function. Okay, another way to generate a vector of numbers is, let's create another object, A6. Okay, familiarize lang natin yung sarili natin. There's another function called sequence. Yan, sequence. So this is from the base R. So no need to insert a package for that. Okay, if you want to know more about a particular function, the best way really is to use the help function. Yan, question mark and then sequence. Okay, control enter and then look at the help. Yan, sequence generation. And then it will explain the syntax. Okay, ano daw ginagawa nito? Generate regular sequences. Sequence is a standard generic with the default method. Itong pwedeng sequence that integer, no? So integer ang i-generate nito. Okay, so may mga examples dito which you can use. We're not going to do that. Okay, for example ito. Sige, ito na lang gawin natin, class. Okay, control C, copy natin siya. And then control D. Oops, mali. Out minus sequence. All right. And then we have to have another closure. Okay, so take a look at this. This is sequence. The complete code here is from is equal to, pwede natin ilagay from, and then to is equal to, and then by pi. So what will happen here? R will generate a vector of numbers from 1 up to 9, and it will be incremented by pi. So in other words, magdadagdag siya ng pi, okay, for each of this, for the sequence. So let's run this. Okay. Take a look at this class. From 1 to 9 by pi. Now, take note, hindi niya sinama si 9, no? Hindi sinama si 9 kasi pag dinagdagan pa natin ito ng 3.14, lalampas na siya sa 9. Okay, so take a look at the difference between this one, Control C, and then Control V. Pagawin natin itong A7, sequence from 1 to 9, and then dito, gawin natin length, dot out, is equal to, sabihin natin, 4. Okay, take a look at this 2. Yung kanina, nag-sequence siya from 1 to 9 by pi. Ibig sabihin, nag-i-increment siya ng pi. No? It keeps on adding pi. Gawin natin itong 20 para mas malaki-laki. 7 to. Right? So dito, from 1 to 20 by pi, if I run this, ayan, no? 1, and then it added 3.14 plus 3.14, etc. Until such point that it reached 19.84. Hindi na niya tinuloy kasi pag nagdagdag pa siya ng 3.14, magiging 23 na. No? Eh sabi lang natin hanggang 20 lang. Okay, how about this one? Sequence from 1 to 20, length that out is equal to 7. Let's see the difference. Tira natin pareho. Okay, so ang difference nito is that from 1 up to 20, length that out is equal to 7. It will make sure that it ends in 20. Okay? And then length that out 7 means that there should be 7 elements. So much so that if I ask for, oops, sorry, Control Z. If I ask for the length of A7, ito then length nito, A6. So the length will give us the number of elements. Ira natin to. Okay, tapos pwede nga palang pwede nating i-round to. So let me just add here. Kasi ito, ang daming decimal place. I can use the round function, sequence from, and then dito, before I end here, round 3. Ibig sabihin yan, it will generate an answer that's just 3 decimal places. Round, ito sa loob 3. Okay, what's happening here? Open parenthesis, close. Round open, 1, 2, kulang pa ako ng isa. Tama ba? Yan. Kasi kailangan natin, i-close ko yung sequence, and then i-close ko si round. So dapat i-close ko si round dito, and then i-close si A7. Yan. So mali pa rin to. Yan. Okay, sorry about that, Cash. Okay, let me share this, Control C. Let me chat this para if you want to verify what you did. Okay. Okay, so what are we doing here? We're creating this object A6. A6, let's start with the one inside here. Magsi-sequence siya from 1 up to 20 by pi. Okay, ibig sabihin nun, it can reach 20, but it can be up to 20, but it should not be more than 20. Okay, by pi kasi, ibig sabihin, it will increment by 3.14. And then sabi ko, kasi maraming decimal place to, sabi ko, i-round off lang niya sa 3 decimal places. Okay, so if I run both, Control Enter. Okay, so you can see here in class that na-round off niya sa 3 decimal places. 1.000, etc. So yung unang function natin sa A6, yung unang object natin hanggang 19.85 lang. And there are 7 elements here, yung length A6. Sa A7 naman, from 1 up to 20, length that out is equal to 7. So notice here, magsisimula siya sa 1, mag-e-end siya sa 20. Okay? And then it will get the, so ang increment nito, 3.167. Okay? And then 7 elements then. Okay, so this was meant for us to be introduced to the sequence function. We can generate a vector of numeric numbers, okay, using the sequence function. Okay, let's see. Any questions so far? Can you combine the by? When you say by is equal to? Okay. So ang question dito, pwede bang ipagsama tong by at saka length that out? So let's try that, no? It's a good question. So nothing wrong with experimenting. Kung ano mangyayari kung let's create this A8, no? So from 1 up to 20, and then let's make it by is equal to pi. So it will increment by pi, and then length that out, okay, is equal to, sorry, pi dapat to. Length that out, gawin natin tong 8, okay, para hindi pareho sa taas. Okay, length A8. So the question is it can it be, is it possible to combine the by, the increment, and then the length that out? So let's see if it works. Okay, ano nangyari, class? What happened? Okay. Class, ano nangyari? What's the answer there? Okay. What does too many arguments mean? Kasi ini-insist natin na dapat ang increment niya by pi. Tapos sinabi mo pa na dapat 8 elements. So may conflict dito, class. These are two conflicting conditions. Kasi hindi pa pwedeng mag-i-increment ka ng pi, okay lang. Tapos dapat ang kakalabasan mo, ang last mo, up to 20. Alright? So ang sinasabi niya, hindi pa pwede yun. Okay, that cannot happen. If you keep on increasing it by 3.14, okay, and then dapat mag-e-end siya sa 20, okay, and length that out niya, dapat 8 elements, okay, hindi pa pwede yun. Kasi you can compute, class, you can, kunyari kanina, no? So let's make this, kanina i-run natin to yung A7. Control Enter. Alright, ito, di ba? By how much did the numbers increase? By how much, class? So yung sa una, di ba? 3.167, di ba? Kasi 4, this one, Control C, Control V, minus 1, ito. So ang increment niya, 3.167. Sa dulo, pareho pa rin ba? Control C, 20 minus 16.833. Okay, 3.167 din. Diba? So uniform yung ano niyan, yung increments, no? How was 3.167 obtained, class? Paano?
Hello, sir. I think it's 20 divided by 6 po.
20 divided by 6 will give you 20 divided by 6, that's 3 and 2 there. Ayun natin para sigurado. 20 divided by 6 is 10 divided by 3, no? So that's 3.333. Hindi siya.
Sir, 19 po pala. 19. Kasi 20 minus 1 divided by 6.
Oh, yon. So it's the first number, 20 minus 1, and then divided by 20 minus 1 divided by 1. If there are 7 numbers, okay, if there are 7 numbers, how many spaces, how many increments between them? Minus 1. Yan. Kasi 7 numbers daw. Pero 7 numbers means there should be 7 minus 1 increments. Right? So ito. There are 7 numbers here, but how many increments? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 increments lang. Bali yung 20 minus 1, yung 19 na yan, yung difference, you will divide it into the number of increments. Okay, which is, kung ilan daw yung number, 7 minus 1. Okay, so this is 3.16. Eh, ang sinasabi nyo kanina, i-increment natin by 3.14. So conflict yun, di ba? Right? If you're saying that ang length that out is equal to 7, so dapat magi-increment siya ng 3.16. Pero ito, yung sinasabi natin, increment by pi, which is 3.14. So that's a conflict. Okay, so that's why nag-error siya, hindi siya pwedeng gawin. Okay, but thank you for that question, a very good question. Okay, any clarification, class? Okay, I hope it's clear so far. Huh? All right, so let's go here. Gusto kong pareho nating same as the other sections. Okay, there are also some functions in R that can generate random numbers. Ito sequence, no? You can also use, for example, yung R norm. There's this R norm function. Okay, I leave you, class, to look at. Sige. So the R norm function generates numbers that are normally distributed. Yan, R norm. So meron tayong D norm, that's a distribution. QP norm, distribution function, yung quantile function, and random generation. Okay? So ang gagawin natin ngayon, yung random generation. Mag-generate tayo ng numbers na normally distributed. Okay? N here stands for the number of observations. Mean is equal to 0, standard deviation is equal to 1. This is the default. No? Naka-red siya. Ibig sabihin nun, kung hindi natin ilagay yung mean at standard deviation, R will automatically make it having a mean of 0 and standard deviation is equal to 1. If you want another type, another mean, of course, just change this. Okay, for now, let's just use the default. All right, so let's see R norm. Let's create an object called, let's now call it A9. A9 is R norm. And then let's generate 100 numbers. And then I'll just use mean is equal to 0 and SD is equal to 1. But it's okay not to write this. If you don't write mean is equal to 0 and standard deviation is equal to 1, R will still impose this kasi default siya. Yan. Okay, so let's run this and then let's use another function head, A9, and let's make it 10, and then tail, A9, make it 5. Okay, what does this do? Tanggalin ko na to, no? I'll comment this out. Okay, we're creating an object A9, and A9 is normally distributed. There are 100 observations with mean is equal to 0, standard deviation is equal to 1. And then here, I'm asking R to print the first 10 elements. Pag linagay ko lang head ng A9, ang default niyan, it will only give us the first 6 elements. And then the tail will give us the last 6 elements if I didn't put 5. But here, since I specified 5, it will give us the last 5 elements. Okay? So let's also lagyan na rin natin to ng round, no? Para hindi masyado malaki. Round and then comma. Okay, 3 decimal places. Close natin si round, tapos si A9 i-print natin. Huwag na natin i-print si A9. Kasi pag i-print natin si A9 class, mag-print siya ng 100 random numbers. Let's just print the first 10 numbers. Okay, so if we click this, share ko. All right. So what do we have here? So these are the first first 10 observations of my random number. So tingnan natin dito sa environment natin. Okay, we now have here A9. Here A9 is numerical. Yan, no? 3 decimal places lang kasi nag-impose tayo na 3 decimal places lang siya. Round up to 3 decimal places. All right, first question, do we have the same observations? Pareho ba tayo ng 0.687, 2.48, 0.58? Chat please, yes or no? Okay, the answer is no, yes. Okay, you're correct. No dapat tayo, no? Kasi randomly generated to it. Okay, randomly generated. If we want, class, if we want to have the same random numbers, what do you think should we do?
Sir,
Yes?
if I remember correctly, we should use yung set.seed.
Yes, correct. No, so pwede natin gamitin para pare-pareho tayong numbers. We can use here set.seed. So set.seed is a random number generator. And if we use the same number, for example, let's use 999, okay? So I'm using 999, use also 999. When we run this, it will generate the same set of random numbers. Okay, so let's run this again. Run the whole code chunk. All right, so you now have this -282, -1.313. Okay, these are the first 10 observations. These are the last 10 observations. Last 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, kindly chat please. Do we have the same numbers? Pareho ba yung numbers na na-generate natin? Okay, correct. Yes, dapat pareho tayo, no? Kasi nag-set.seed tayo. For as long as pareho yung set.seed natin, tapos dapat pareho yung number of observations natin. Siyempre, kasi kung, kunyari, sinulat dyan 1,000, ako 100 lang. Siyempre, iba yung output natin. No? Pag pareho dapat yung mean natin, pareho yung standard deviation natin. Okay? So we generated the first 10 observations. Yung tail, the last, in this case, 5 kasi, last 5. Okay, so let's, if we get class the mean of A9 and the standard deviation of A9. Let's see. Okay? Kasi sabi natin dapat ang mean 0 and standard deviation is equal to 1. If we get the mean and standard deviation, all right. So, ang ano niya dito, ang mean negative 0.10. Tapos ang standard deviation niya 0.94. Okay, so it's not really close to mean 0 and standard deviation is equal to 1. So medyo off ng konti, no? In fact, if we create the histogram for this, so we can use the histogram HIST for A9. Okay, and then if we plot this, you can see here that medyo may mga skewness ng values, no? Hindi siya ganun talaga ka-normally distributed. But if we do some tests for normality, siguro magiging normally distributed ang ano yan, ang statistical conclusion. But let's do this. Okay, let's copy this full code chunk. Copy na lang natin tong full code chunk na to. Control C. And then let's go here below. And then baguhin natin to, no? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then let's create another object, A10. Okay. This time, dagdagan natin tong ano. Gawin natin 100,000 class. Okay. Baguhin naman natin yung mean. Mean is equal to 100. Standard deviation is equal to, let's say, 1.5. Okay. 3 decimal places. So let's replace this. Okay. Control F. Find A9. Tinatamad ako, sorry. Replaced by A10. Okay, so una muna A9, replace. So pumunta siya dyan, ano? Lahat ng A9, replace. Okay? No more occurrences. Alright, so I replaced lahat ng A9 by A10. Okay, anong ginagawa natin dito? Dinagdagan ko class yung, yung number of observations. A while ago, it was only 10, 100. Now it's 100,000. Okay? So, let's use a mean of 100, standard deviation of 1.5. Round lang natin sa 3 decimal places. Let's get the head, the tail, the mean, and the histogram. Let's run this, everything. Okay? So, may dalawang lumalabas dito, no? Here. So, the first one is this one. Okay, so you should be having the same values. 98.189, 100.416, etc. Okay? And then, this is the head. This is the tail. Head to, no? First 10 observations. This is the tail. And then take a look at the mean, 100.0044. Okay, not really perfectly exactly 100, but it's very, very close, practically the same. If we round it off to the 4 decimal places, or 2 decimal places, 100.00. And this one, 1.499, that's practically 1.5. Okay, so if you recall sa stat nyo, yung theory ng ano class? CLT, ano yun? Kalimutan nyo? Okay, correct, no? Thank you, Naoki. That's a central limit theorem. Okay, so it's almost time, class. Okay, that's good. What we were able to learn is tinignan natin yung vectors of numeric values, integer values, character, etc. We learned how to use the sequence function, and we learned how to also use the R norm. So next Friday, we'll take a look at the list and the other data types, data structures. No? But we will be focusing on the data frames. Ito yung pinaka-importante sa atin, yung data frames. Okay? I hope you learned something today. Any questions? Any clarifications? Stop recording.